Boker Tov, good morning.
And
Just want to
you.
start off the day here together and an important message for our community. So first, just a quick health update, because I know that sometimes folks get anxious. There's no change to my health, thank God, holding steady.
Indeed.
And as some folks in the community already know, just after Thanksgiving, I was hospitalized actually for several days. And it turned out, again, thank God, to be a very manageable garden variety condition of thyroiditis, Hashimoto's disease. So treatment for that has been going really well. But what that hospitalization did highlight for me is that I cannot and I should not just sort of, as I had been progressing since August, just take my daily chemo pills and proceed as usual. That is just not wise. Um, so despite the beauty and the blessing of being chaplain and associate spiritual leader and sharing the Bema with you, Ron. All of that. There's also, as you feel so keenly, there's significant stress. Um, so I want to say, don't listen, Ron. You can put your fingers in your ears, but I want everybody out there to know that this year your rabbi is going to be carrying significant stress. There's so much because of just, I think of the number of B'nai Mitzvah alone that have been rescheduled because of the pandemic, and then the transition from virtual to in person on top of that, and then all of that is on top of already being your rabbi and the leader of this beautiful VOS. So he, right, you, Ron, and you, all of you out there, you should have full powered support, which is just not where my body unfortunately is. So I've always felt very strongly that if given the opportunity, it's best to make choices not, from a position of strength and intention, not from crisis. So after a lot of reflection and conversation, I decided that just frankly, the best course of action for both me and us is that I step away from my position so then another can step in and be fully physically all in. So, this little message is to let you know that May 31st will be my last day of serving VOS full time. Now, let that settle because I'm aware that, you're all used to me, right? And some of you even, I think, like me. And so this is a shock. And maybe though, I think it's not a surprise because you've all known I've been very upfront and very transparent about my cancer. And so this is, I want to make sure that it's clear that whatever worries that you might have or wondering what is this going to be like, it has nothing to do, and it's separated from my cancer. It may get caught up with some issues about mortality, but I think this is another important reason why I should step away now when my health is stable, because my leaving full-time work at VOS is not my leaving the planet or even California. After all, you're all my community. I love you all so. So, I will be still a member of sisterhood and in your lives in different ways, just not as fully engaged as I have been in the past for my own well being. And, believe it or not, this is not the first that Ron is hearing this or that your fearless leader, Karen Block, and the board knows, because I wanted to give a good amount of time to make this a positive transition. So will you speak, Ron, to the great things to come?
Yes. I want to say, I was wondering if, as you say this, if people are thinking, well, why isn't he reacting the way we are at home? As I imagine people are maybe not yet absorbing what you said, playing back the video to say, did she say May 31st? What's happening? She's going to Canada? What did she say? You can go to Canada. But uh, you and I had this conversation, you, Adam Braun, and I, weeks ago, where I had my reaction and subsequently had my reactions to the news. And you also said two things that really struck me. One was shock and not surprised. And I think that's the way I've responded to this, which was I said to you at the time, I felt like an owl who invisibly had his head spinning when I heard the news, but I wasn't surprised. The shock was the reality of it. The fact that it wasn't a surprise is because, sure, this is a possibility, but also because you brought and bring characteristic care and wisdom to this decision, as you bring characteristic care and wisdom to all of your decisions. And you've approached it with the wisdom to say, how is the best way to do this for myself? How do I take care of myself and exemplify that kind of self-care, which I think is good for our community. One of the things we learn, myself included, from you. And the other is, how do I do this in a way that's caring, careful, full of care for this community that you love truly with your whole being? And this isn't, this won't be the last I say in gratitude to you, clearly, and it won't be the last I say in admiration for you. But I want to say, as challenging as this is for all of us to hear, that I adore you and admire you. You're an incredible chaplain and associate spiritual leader of a congregation. That's been an amazing thing to watch. And you're an extraordinary friend and a great teacher to me. And though you're a chaplain, you're my rabbi as well. I can write a book of the things that I've learned from you, the wisdom of Jennifer, and that will continue. So I want to say that we are in a conversation and the beginnings of negotiation with somebody that I think will be a wonderful candidate. And you and I know her now because we've both spent time with her. And I think she'll be a great addition to the VOS family. And hopefully in the next coming days and weeks, we'll have good news and the congregation will get to learn more about who this special person is. But I hope that you all trust our good judgment and know that we care so much about this VOS community and would only bring somebody that we think is the right fit, really, the right fit, and a good soul and a good human being and a good professional as well. So Jennifer, thank you.
Yeah, that's really important to highlight for everyone, which is that, you know, as I said, I think that I think we can be confident. And you mentioned that we discussed this a couple weeks ago, but it's actually a couple months. I mean, isn't that amazing how our experience of time, and also just as we work through things and the conversations we've been having over these few months. And I want to note to everyone, please, she's not going to be a new Jennifer. Okay, please be very aware of that. This lovely person that I've spoken with is an expert. I've spent time with her to see that she is truly a gut neshama, a good soul in her own right. And so it's going to be different. You know, anyone who comes into this position, it'll be different, but it will still be tov meod, as we say in Bereshit in Genesis. It will be very good. And the care that your rabbi and that your leadership and your board has taken in this is something that you can trust in and look forward to just beautiful time together in years to come. So I'm so glad that we will all be, all be together in this. I mean, I was employee of the month, I think 3 times, just brag there, and I look forward to, us figuring out how it is that I can continue to be supportive and engaged, but again, not going anywhere, just not in terms of the full time, just making sure to make space for her to come in and to really lead in a powerful and beautiful way.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Thanks for this message. And of course, if anybody needs to talk about this, there'll be plenty of opportunity for us to engage with Jennifer and with me and with the community, with Karen, with our leadership team, with one another, so we can walk this path together. Thank you.